This is the first ever BSI Standards Awards, and so Scott Steedman is here to introduce them. Scott.
Thank you very much, David, and good afternoon, everyone. One of the findings of the 2013 survey of committee members was that recognition was something which people want. Your committee members want it, and committee chairmen want it. So we wanted to respond to that. And I must say, when I came into this role and discovered that we didn't have an award structure, we've been talking about that for a little while now. So really delighted that we are here today to introduce the first year of our awards. We were unsure about the level of response that we would get for this, but we received really a remarkable number of nominations, and we were struck by the range and quality of those across many sectors by nominees, but also the esteem with which the committee members are held by their peers and the effort that was put into those nominations. So I thank the nominators who went to the trouble of writing those nominations. The judging panel had a very difficult task in the categories that we had set for ourselves. These are, if you like, almost family awards. They're aimed at our internal community, our committee chairmen and committee members. And we decided to make 10 awards this year, although we could have made many more. So the panel recommended creating a special commendation level for some of the nominees, and those awards we will give separately outside this event.
Okay, so our first category of award winners is for Emerging Standards Maker.
So the idea of this category is it's about people who are fairly new to the standards business. So it's a category for an individual committee member who has made a significant contribution to standards making within the first 3 years of their membership of the BSI committee. It's really challenging the assumption that standards making requires a lifetime of experience and it takes years to achieve anything. So we've made 2 awards in this category this year, both candidates having made a remarkable contribution in a very short timescale.
The first award this afternoon is to Dr. Alessandro Artusi. Dr. Artusi has been a member of the BSI committee concerned with the coding of picture, audio, multimedia and hypermedia information for less than 2 years. In this short time frame, he has offered his expertise on high dynamic range HDR imaging for the development of the new JPEG XT standard for the coding of HDR still images. Dr. Artusi has been involved in all stages of the development of the new standard and played an instrumental role during the process, including co-editing key parts of the standard, and through his expertise in the HDR imaging field has contributed to a constructive discussion and analysis of the key issues related to their development. Emerging Standards Maker, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Alessandro Artusi. Our second and final award winner in the Emerging Standards Maker category is Kit Oung. In December 2011, Kit took on the role of project leader for the development of ISO 50002 energy audits requirements with guidance for use. Since then, he's organised 4 international meetings of the ISO working group to progress the work. Kit combines a very good understanding of the subject with great leadership skills, his excellent preparation and openness with the project group, allowing all experts to express their views, in combination with quickly capturing the consensus and moving the development process along speedily, was very well received by his colleague, and this high-profile standard that was proposed and led by the UK was published in July. Emerging Standards Maker, ladies and gentlemen, Kit Oung.
Thank you. So 95% of the work that we all do together for this fantastic national standards body of ours is on the international stage. So it's international, global or European standards of one sort or another. So very important to recognise that. This category is for an individual member of a BSI committee who has made a significant contribution to the development of international or European standards. The number and quality of nominations we had for this category reflects the extent to which standards making is an international activity, but also the vital contribution that we all make as UK experts. So this year, the panel recommended 4 awards in this category. The recipients cover a range of sectors, but they've all demonstrated a combination of technical expertise, people management skills, and leadership that have driven standards development in their industry. And it's a particular pleasure to present the awards for me to introduce Dr. Elizabeth Stampfel-Blaha, the ISO Vice President for Technical Management, Chair of the ISO Technical Management Board, and the Chief Executive of the Austrian Standards Institute. Elizabeth, would you please join us? Thank you.
So the first International Standards Maker Award goes to Ian Jones. Ian has been chairman of the BSI Committee on Lifts since 1998. In 2005, the SEN Lifts Committee decided to completely revise the structure of the main family of standards EN 81 for lifts. Ian led the coordination of around 400 experts in numerous task groups and subcommittees, managing the resolution of more than 3,000 comments and securing a unanimous yes vote on the final standards. This massive task was only achieved as a result of Ian's leadership. Ian has also influenced their take-up worldwide, with China in particular adopting the European standards and even the US starting to move in the European direction. International Standards Maker. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Jones. Our second award winner for International Standards Maker is Professor Haig Gulvanessian. Professor Gulvanessian has been involved in national and international standards in civil and structural engineering since 1980. Ian has helped to shape the development and implementation of the structural Eurocodes. He was chairman for many years of the SEN Technical Committee 250. These codes are essential to support regulations and the free movement of construction services and construction products in the EU. He's been for many years an advisor on the implementation of the Eurocodes to UK government and to the European Commission, and chairs the Institution of Civil Engineering Eurocode Expert Advisory Group. International Standards Maker, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Haig Gulvanessian. Our third award winner for International Standards Maker is Mike Hagger. Mike has more than 50 years' experience in the cable industry and has served many BSI, Senelec and IEC technical committees. His detailed knowledge, experience and understanding of cable manufacture, technology and test methods have allowed him to play a pivotal role in the writing and development of many essential cable standards. Mike has recently relinquished his role in the IEC and Senelec technical committees for electrical cables, but continues to play an active part in the work on fire safety, in particular the standards required for the construction products regulation. International Standards Maker Mike Hagger. And our fourth and final International Standards Maker is Brian Newell. Brian has been a member of the BSI Committee on Ceramic Tiles since the early 1980s and contributed to the first suite of tile installation standards, as well as the first workmanship on site standard, BS 8000. Brian has represented the UK at the SEN Committee for Ceramics and Ceramic Tile Adhesives for more than 25 years, as well as representing the UK at ISO TC 189. In 2012, he became the first British convener of an ISO TC 189 working group, and its work will be the first ceramic tile installation guidelines to be published by ISO. International Standards Maker, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Newell.
So none of this work would be possible without our chairman and chairwomen, but we'll stick with chairman as a title for the role. So we wanted to create a leadership award to recognise that work. And this category, which is for an individual committee chairman who's demonstrated outstanding leadership skills in chairing a BSI committee. Again, we had an outstanding number of nominations, hard to select, but the three awards presented today are all to individuals who've demonstrated outstanding leadership skills in the face of significant challenges where they needed to step up to help their committee to deliver standards for their industry. So I'd like to introduce Shirley Bailey-Wood, our Director of Publishing, to present those awards. Shirley.
Okay, so our first winner of the Leadership Award is Barrie Reynolds. Barrie, during the almost 15 years that he's chaired the BSI Committee for Systems used in Industrial Process Measurement and Control, he has demonstrated outstanding leadership of the committee, successfully championing the basic safety standard IEC 61508, as well as other important sector-specific standards. He sought to ensure broad and representative input from UK industry and encourage the uptake of the standards. Barrie has led the committee through a smooth transition in chairmanship from the recruitment of his successor through to providing coaching and mentoring in matters of standards governance. Our first winner of the Leadership Award, ladies and gentlemen, Barrie Reynolds. Our second winner of the Leadership Award is Mike Roberts. Mike has been chairman of the National Committee on Terminology since 2001, actively contributing to the ISO work, the ISO Terminology Committee. Mike has worked to bring in new recruits to reflect new areas of activity, and Mike has helped to establish an additional network of contacts, including external organisations such as the Association for Terminology and Lexicography. One of Mike's aims has been to ensure that terminology standards are applied by other committees, and with this in mind, he proposed the production of BS 8430, Terminology Work Fundamentals Made Simple. Mike has continued to be actively involved in new projects as a terminology expert, with the new PAS on Smart Cities vocabulary, the latest to be completed. Our second winner of the Leadership Award, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Roberts. And our final recipient of the Leadership Award is Paul Galbraith. As chairman of the joint BSI IET Committee on the Electrical Installation of Buildings, Paul has demonstrated outstanding leadership skills in chairing a key committee that is responsible for the National Electrical Safety Standards, the wiring regulations. During Paul's 6 years as chairman, he's handled some difficult issues and effectively resolved problems for the health service, the fire service, and for government, as the standard is mentioned in the building regulations. Keeping the committee focused on the first two amendments and currently Amendment 3, which is on target for publication in January. Our final winner of the Leadership Award, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Galbraith.
Thank you, David. So, in creating what will be our highest level of award, we wanted to recognise the long history of BSI and the pioneering role of the UK in creating the modern concept of best practice standards for industry, unlocking industry potential, building competitive advantage. And in particular, pleasure for me, because I'm a civil engineer myself, to reflect back on those origins in the Institution of Civil Engineers and the Institution of Mechanical Engineers and others. And we decided, therefore, to name this award and to create a medal after Sir John Wolfe Barrie, who chaired the very first meeting of the Engineering Standards Committee in 1901, the forerunner of BSI. And we are really delighted that today, as guests of ours today, or guests of all of ours today, to have two of his descendants, John Wolfe Barrie and his son Andrew. Very difficult to create a medal and an objective that is higher than the objectives you've already heard. But for me, I suppose, the object of this award is to recognise a BSI committee member who has made an outstanding contribution to standards making, maybe in that same visionary way that Sir John Wolfe Barrie himself did. He thought of this concept that you could declutter the industrial landscape, unlock potential by simply coming together as experts, competitors, government and consumers ultimately, and saying this is what we want to achieve. So that visionary idea of creating a whole new model for the economy is something that we wanted to recognise with this medal. And we therefore thought we can only award one of these medals each year, depending on the nominations. We had a very difficult selection, of course, because many of these candidates could well have been nominated for other categories, but they were all very accomplished in their own right. The quality was really exceptional. So we have made one award this year. We look forward to making many more awards in the years to come. We are looking for individuals who have put that extraordinary contribution into their sector through the medium of voluntary consensus business standards. David.
So, the final award. The Wolfe Barrie Medal winner is Professor Edward Humphreys. Professor Humphreys is acknowledged around the world for his work on the ISO IEC 27000 series of standards, is often referred to as the father of information security management system standards. He served as convener of the relevant ISO-IEC working group since 1990 and as chairman of the UK Mirror Committee since 1991. In addition to the development of the 27000 series, Professor Humphreys contributed to the development of the original ITU-T X509 standard, the implementation of which is now embedded in most internet browsers and is the basis of most secure online transactions. Edward is liked and respected by his fellow committee members in the UK and internationally, admired for his skills in achieving consensus and setting strategic direction. He personally conceived the concept of a coordinated and integrated set of information security management standards, and under his leadership, this has been created. Ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural winner of the Wolfe Barrie Medal, Professor Edward Humphreys.
Thank you for that citation. I'm honoured to be here today and to be the recipient of this BSI Wolfe Barrie Award and to be specifically distinguished by BSI in this respect. I would like to say just a few words, I've only got about 20 pages here, about my journey, which started actually 27 years ago when I worked for British Telecom. And this journey has now resulted in the development of lots of standards, but also this Wolfe Barrie Award. My journey has taken me through the development of a simple set of baseline controls through to a publication in the UK, which was called a Code of Practice, PD 0003, and then to a set of British standards, 7799 Part 1 and Part 2. One being a code of practice and the other one being a specification for certification to this code of practice. And then subsequently it entered into ISO as two well-known standards today, 27001 and 27002. Of course, along the way, I've not only just been doing standards work to support 27001 and 2, I was involved in accreditation schemes, accreditation standards, working on a register for international certificates and also certificated auditor schemes. My journey has met with many interesting and working with very interesting experts, auditors, assessors, implementers, and many of those senior management in the C-suite status. Of course, this the fruit of this 27-year journey has been this best-selling international standard, 27001. Currently, we have over 19,000 certificates against this standard for information security management. And it covers all sectors, and whether it's a small, medium, or large-scale organization. This standard is a common language for organizations to deal with a risk-based approach to information security. And of course, the benefits of this standard include the minimizing of an organization's risks, maximizing their business opportunities by managing this risk, and also being able to ensure continuity and availability. This journey of mine has happened with the help and support of many, including BT in the formative years, but many from BSI over those many years, and also to various individuals in business and the international community. And of course, my thanks also go to the DTI, which is now BIS, because they played a vital role in government support in promoting and getting the right resources for 27001. Finally, I would like to thank my two sponsors, Dr. Mike Nash and Anne Hayes, in the corner there, for their professional and personal recognition of my 27-year-old journey. Last but not least, I would also like to thank the current IST 33 Secretary, Anne Cassidy. One final word. This is not the end of the journey of 27001. There is a further quantum leap in development going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years. So I just encourage you to sit back and wait to see what that is. Thank you very much.